My name is at the start of each episode, and welcome back to Hearthstone, the Dalaran Heist. We're going to be continuing with, what's our anomaly at the moment?
Dalaran. You be distracting all the guards. We be taking all the loots.
After a minion is played, it gains deathrattle, summon a 1/1 copy of this minion. So why would I want a 1/1 copy of a minion? Well, Battlecry's right out, right? So 1/1 copies of minions, I guess they can be used to flood the board. It seems like the weakest way to deal with it, right? But deathrattle on deathrattle seems really, really good, right? You play a deathrattle card that might say, like, deathrattle summon a random legendary like Sneed's Old Treader, and then it dies, and it summons a 1/1 that summons a random legendary. Good. Good. Okay, so we're going for a deathrattle deck. So who does deathrattle better than anyone else? It's Rogue, right? But I think I've already finished. I have not finished Rogue on the first wing. Is it really Rogue? For deathrattle? Rogue definitely has deathrattle, don't get me wrong, but Shaman used to have deathrattle, but that was an old mech mechanic. Priest, yeah, technically, but none of their deathrattles are that good. Rogue was deathrattle for a really long period of time, but what are the impactful Rogue deathrattles? They just summon coins? Possibly copy a card from your hand? Druid doesn't have deathrattle. Warrior doesn't have deathrattle. So it's definitely Hunter, Priest, or Rogue. After a minion is played. Well, after a minion is played implies that obviously I'm going to want to get all of my deathrattles from minions. Rogue has deathrattles that are external of minions. Obviously weapon deathrattles being part of that. But also Rogue a lot of the time will control the board with spells and then play minions, rather than aggress overtly with the minions. I think I actually take Priest here. Just on a different wing though.
Magical beast.
Violet Hold? Violet Hold could work, I guess. Has Rogue completed this wing? Rogue has not completed this wing. Sorry, Priest has completed that wing though.
I promised Rafam that we will win over the merchant district by any means.
Oh, so there's not a difference. Oh, damn it.
While I wire up the rockets.
I thought it was different, right? I thought it was along the lines of each character has... Oh, that's unfortunate. I thought it was along the lines of each character has a crown if they themselves have completed that particular chapter, but it's just if any character has completed any chapter. Damn. All right, well... Swapped attack and health, and deathrattle summon a 1/1 copy of this minion after a minion is played. So the play needs to resolve. Otherwise, it'd be whenever a minion is played. Okay, so if that needs to resolve, that means I can't just generate things like eggs. Say I've got an egg that's a 0/2, right? It gets swapped attack and health. It's a 2/0, so I play it and immediately triggers deathrattle. This likely would mean that that minion would not actually gain deathrattle summon 1/1 copy of this minion because the after phase would not trigger. It would die during its play, is my understanding of how that would work. I'd appreciate if anyone had any clarification on that, but that's a really, really niche point, so it's a little bit difficult. I could also go crowded streets. That'd help control the influence of the enemies on the board. Is that good? So Rogue deathrattles destroy enemy minions, buff friendly minions, occasionally heal the enemy, but you can flip that obviously with healing into damage effects. Damn. I think I do play Priest, and I think I do it in Streets of Dalaran, especially considering Streets of Dalaran is probably my least played, but I don't think it's good. Swap a minion's attack now. Oh, okay, so completed with this, haven't completed with this, haven't completed with this. Beautiful. Soothe, give a minion -2 attack until your next turn. Swap a minion's attack and health on Distort is pretty powerful. Would either of these have an impact on a deathrattle deck? Not really? Just gonna take Distort then. Is this the deathrattle build? Yeah, this is the deathrattle build. And we haven't got it unlocked, unfortunately. No deathrattle in this entire deck. One deathrattle in this deck. Alright, that's a little bit harsh. We probably don't want to do that then. There is literally just the rogue deathrattle. We can take Cutlass. Dead Man's Tail. Fine, we'll go with this. Obviously, I wasn't initially intending on doing this, but if this is the best option, this is the best option. Run's completed? One? What? But... hang on. How have I got one completed run if Rogue hasn't got a crown? I don't understand. Alright. Let's start though. Was it 6 minutes before I go into the first match? Yeah, that's me. That's how I do. A lot of videos would just fast forward past this entire part. Not me, no. Long form content. Pilfer, Violet Haze. Violet Haze has now been buffed as well. So the rogue buffs have gone through. I just mull for early minions. The rogue buffs have gone through. So... and I guess the nerfs have as well. Pogo Rogue would be interesting, but I suspect, you know, not particularly synergistic with anything that's going on for us so far. Probably just go Goblin Auto Barber, go face. So I can Blink Fox, go face again next turn, and then have the Blink Fox charge. Well, charge. Rush. I mean, I can clear the board, but clear the board, right? Because they just resummon. It's really important I keep going face for that reason. Anabar Ambusher. Deathrattle. Return a friendly minion to your hand, a random friendly minion in particular. So obviously that's a bad Deathrattle for us. But if we have nothing else on field, don't really matter, do it. The enemy is kind of handily taking care of me right now. We might end up losing the first fight. Lil Abyss dealing 2 damage on combo is wild. Heal my face for 5, resummon. Bad ordering. Heal for Tomb. If both of the tombs die, I get 2 coins, and then I try and just flood out minions, right? So it's just a 4-4. Both of the 4s get played that turn.
Thank you.
If Paladin was out, I probably would have played Paladin and tried to go rather for a Divine Shield deck. Because Divine Shield on targets, when they are resummoned, is there again. That's a huge amount of value you can pick up. So the second one dies if I traded in myself here. I can just Southsea Defias, although it'd actually be Hench Clan Defias. Yeah. It's only played minions that gain the buff that we were talking about before, unfortunately.
How much is this worth to you? I'll take that.
Alright. I'm going to trade off on both of these just to thin down the playfield. And then I can double coin Defias. So effectively, the only point of what I've just done is putting so many minions on board that the enemy can't really remove all of them.
Make with the cutty chop.
Nice. There's my 1/1. Looking for somebody in taunts. Alright, cool. Well played.
No, that's delightful. Why don't you lean over and say that to my face? I'll take that.
Did you interrupt yourself to sledge me? Bold. Especially immediately prior to death.
The prince's ring calls to you from the grave. Take it.
Prince's ring is pretty good. Sure. Let's go. Let's roll the dice on that one. Ooh, deathrattle. Nate. But garbage. Great deathrattle. Yeah, I mean, when this is resummoned, it doesn't have a deathrattle, right? Because when it's resummoned, it hasn't triggered its battle cry, therefore it's just a 1/1. And Edwin obviously isn't that great. So Sylvanas is great here. The rest of it's garbage. But Piloted Shredder, incredible. Sneed's Old Shredder, incredible. Ziliax is a great card. It's just like whether or not it works with anomaly nesting. I mean, it does. It's just another 1/1 magnetic divine shield taunt lifesteal rush. You know, there's so many of those. Journey Below, double Necro Val. Those actually don't really make sense here. We're taking Cogs in gear. Let's try and make a macro. Okay. What support would a mech rogue have other than death rattle triggers on the shredders?
Eudora versus a Willow.
Nothing I can think of.
Things are about to get messy.
What are you doing in my shop?
Making things messy. I was pretty clear about that. It's a good curve, but only if the Piloted Shredder should stick, right? That said, I don't want too many Piloted Shredders because they're not actually going to be helpful in the long run. This has charge. I can develop it next turn. Fine. All right, so the hero power we got is summon a 2/2 horseman. If you have all 4, destroy the enemy hero. That's not going to trigger in this combat at all. Oh, great. Goblin Auto Barber. So it would have been correct to do the other order. That said, I'll do the hero power, then Serrated and Goblin Auto Barber next turn. So the enemy has like 2 cleaves in that deck, 2 warpaths, a Fool's Bane, a couple other weapons. Like, I'm not going to be able to run him over with the 4 horsemen. That's a fantasy.
Ah, you're here for me cooking classes.
No?
There's plenty to go around.
Sure. Enemy picks up a lackey and a card.
It's playtime.
It's definitely piloted trade across. Swinging that minion as well. I don't care about thinning down the field. It's really important that I try and get rid of the soup vendor before I start attacking the enemy ever again. Because if they start restoring more HP off of that, we're going to be in a sad state of affairs.
Unity, precision, perfection.
I don't need to do anything here. Seven HP, and all you've given is another Piloted Shredder and a random 2 cost. You gonna remove all of them? Please do. Thank you. Good lethal right there. I'll play the pirate and attack base. Gotta remember to play the pirate because I had 6 Pretty sure I had 6 pirates that I needed to play in order to unlock the final hero power for this class, so I can do the thieving archetype. Oh. Oh, this is a shame. Draws of importance to me. Spellslinger I probably don't want to go for here. I think I'm going to go for the combo build exclusively so that I have a Jade Shuriken in the deck. And the reason behind that is, I mean, minions, battle cries, and combos trigger twice, so it doesn't get triggered on top of the Spirit of the Shark. But the only good reason to take that is because Deathrattle Rogue has a Jade Stalker, I think his name is. Can't remember his name for the life of me. But it's a 1-1 with Deathrattle summon a 1-1 Jade Golem, and obviously Jade Golems increase, right? So a 1-1 and then a 2-2, 3-3, etc. I want to see if there is the ability to actually build into Jade in this deck. I mean, if Jade is offered occasionally, surely there's a packet that just offers Jade. Hopefully. So Jade is a Druid mechanic, Jade is a Rogue mechanic, and Jade is a Druid, Rogue, and Shaman. It's definitely not in Shaman. Akazamzarak.
Things are about to get messy.
Step right up.
Sorry, I had to clear my nose. It's good hero power. Great hero power. Deal 1 damage to a minion. Oh, sorry, deal 1 damage. If it kills a minion, summon a water elemental. Alright.
Honestly, I'm just improvising here.
Alright, so I actually generate Goblin Auto Barb here, because if I attack one of the target dummies, then I can just ping, and I'll get a water elemental.
Mystical wonders like you've never seen before.
Generated from anything? No. Okay, so that's Potion of Polymorph, right? So I'm just trying to set minions down to a point where I can... Oh, it's Splitting Image. Neat. So I just actually refill their board again, so they can't summon another thing. Perfect. This fight is entirely won based off of the fact that I just have the Icy Touch. So I'm just going to be doing that every single turn. Without fail. Counter me. No counter. Unnecessary. Summon a 1-1 Ooze with Poisonous and Rush. Deathrattle added to your hand. So again, this is a situation similar to Myra Rotspring, where I'm not going to get a benefit of the Deathrattle on the resummon, so I'll take Blight.
Have you ever seen something so amazing? I think not.
I mean, my hero power's pretty good.
As I turn this normal minion into a rabbit or something.
I was really hoping that was going to hit the same minion again. So a lot of critters going on. I'm fine with it. I'm more than happy to start pinging my own squirrels in order to summon water elementals. I mean, it's upgrading a minion by 2/5. That's great.
Pick a card, any card.
Flark is awful here. And then, do I want to summon another? Yeah, I'll summon you. I did it in that order so that I would have my minions rush out. Because this minion, having been summoned this turn, never had the ability to hit face. So I may as well give it rush so that it can clear the minion on board so I can go face for the rest of the stuff. No more pirates in hand, so we just go face. I've got to remember, no more pirates, but also no more amalgams. Amalgams are of all tribe. So I should be counting them among. Goodbye, Akazam Zarak. It's my second boss. Okay, so I have to fight one more, and then I get my first bar. Minions too, board's too small to use Annoy Horn. Sow the Seeds is pretty bad. By my estimation. Maybe I'm wrong. I should mainly... See, think about it like this. Sow the Seeds, does it have any effect on deathrattle? No. Does it have any effect on deathrattle minions? Yeah, kinda, I guess. But also, think about what each of them, that is to say, Anomaly Nesting and Sow the Seeds, imply about my deck, right? Anomaly Nesting implies that I want to put a bunch of minions in my deck, right? Because after a minion is played, it gains deathrattle, summon a 1/1 copy of this minion, right? So I want minions primarily in my deck. Sow the Seeds benefits when you have more minions in your deck rather than anything else. Maybe Sow the Seeds is something I'm actually looking for here. I'm not playing Boombots from Master Scheme, so it doesn't just give me twice the amount of Boombots. Also, it maximum can give me 4 on the board at the same time. I'm taking Sow the Seeds. Cogs and Gears? That's okay, I guess. Thief doesn't benefit at all here. Blood Mage is just resummon Blood Mage. Portal Keeper, no. It's pretty weak. Maybe I do take the Pogo Hopper. Harvest Golem is a really, really, really good resummon here. It's just my own board is going to be... I'm going to have to trade off my minions like really, really quickly.
The streets are too claustrophobic. You step into the inn for a rest.
This is an early in. If there's the ability to go Gangzol here on the Pogo Hopper, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm all in with Pogo Rogue. Pogo Rogo, go for gold.
Eudora, we have to have a little chat about your tab.
Gangzol here! And there's a Spirit of the Shark as well. Don't want you, don't want you, don't want you, don't want you. Yeah, I'm gonna try and switch this into Pogo Rogue just because it's way more interesting. It's probably a good idea to dismiss a minion here if I can. We're definitely upper handing, so let's do that. So the Seeds, obviously. I might want to Brood before I dismiss here.
Rough day.
Those are all pretty good minions. So I don't really want to get rid of any of them. If I can avoid it. Alright, that's a bit rough, but I'll get rid of the Yeti.
You have fun with all that mayhem and chaos you're causing.
I will. If we can make this some serious Pogo Rogue stuff, I am going to have the most fun.
All they do is run around stopping evil. Find a hobby.
One of the next things that's most important to me is getting the
Eudora versus
Spirit of the Shark, but the Spirit of the Shark is going to be incredible because it resummons itself. It's just there's only one in the deck, so it's difficult for me to get back to it. I'm going to keep Pogo Rogue in my opening hand. Love it. Actually, let me correct myself there. It's like it. Love it and want more of it. That's a good hero power. 3 attack or 3 armor.
I travel
You're a
all
Jade?
roads before me.
Oh no, you're a choose one deck. The Spirit of the Shark will probably leave. Spirit of the Shark has no interaction here, right? With the first Pogo Hopper? Yeah, it has no interaction with the first Pogo Hopper. I just need to play that one blank. It's also actually kind of important that I play it blank. Just because the enemy has... Oh god, Keeper Saladris needs to die right now. No ifs, ands about that one. Get out of here. But it's really important that I play the rogue there just so that my later rogues after a Spirit of the Shark are actually effective. I would like them to be effective. Bad turn.
Others have chosen my path.
Ugh. Stop it. I'm gonna go Blink and then Jade Shuriken just for removal. Bewitched Guardian, Taunt gain, +1 HP for each card in your hand. Eh. We're probably not going to generate more cards in hand, so if we're going to do that at all, we do it next turn, or we do it after the Spirit of the Shark. Actually, we probably just Spirit of the Shark this turn and then do the Bewitched Guardian the turn after. Good. Stealth 1 turn, your minions, combos, and battle cries trigger twice. I'll have you two take that minion for me. I'll take this one. Then next turn is Bewitched Guardian for double the other cards in our hand, as well as Pogo Hopper for a fair few buffs. Oh, hell yes.
My will is not my own.
Your turn.
I have chosen both paths.
Uh-huh. See me shake? We have a Pogo left in our deck, actually. Summon a minion from your hand with 5 or more attack. That summons the tomb. It's not bad. It's just, I don't want to play that right now. I'd like to play it next turn if I have the ability to, so that I have the ability to hero power each turn. This also gets us 2 cards right now, which is pretty good. Lifesteal is surprisingly good right now. Just put it on my biggest minion, attack the face. Can I go? No. Seance is obviously incredible. Uh-huh. Right now, this leaves the Spirit of the Shark on the board, so the enemy is going to have to clear it twice if they want to prevent my next Pogo Hopper coming down as a 50-50. That's, not going to do it. Now that's a big Pogo. I am very, very glad that we had the ability to heal back up there. Enemy almost certainly has swipe in that deck. The persistence of these Pogo Rogues staying on the board actually gives me the ability to more reliably Togwoggle scheme them. I have lethal right now. Yeah, I shouldn't hold out. Yeah. I was considering holding out just so that I could play the extra pirate best though. No need to do that. So our 4th encounter. Okay, so we're 2 more encounters away from the next bar. Which is good because I'm jonesing for a drink. Mechanical Whelp is ridiculous here. 2/2 that summons a 7/7. Summons a 1/1 as well that also summons a 7/7. Pretty good.
Cast carefully.
I'd really like to get Sow the Seeds in my opening hand. Unfortunately, there's no way to guarantee that, right? I can't just bottled lightning it, for example.
To get messy.
I'm gonna lock you up.
I'm going to remove both of those just because we're not going to want to play spells in this combat if we can avoid it. Thankfully, our deck is heavily minion-based, so it shouldn't be a problem for us. I do want to develop the Serrated Tooth as early as possible. Oh, Build-A-Beast. Build-A-Beast is good. I want to develop the Serrated Tooth as early as possible because if the enemy summons the 1/3 Tunnel Trog, I have the ability to start contesting it. This is the most important thing that I just like constantly make sure isn't here. Do I want to get the Zombies rather than Pogo Hopper out now? I do, because the Zombies are also going to resummon themselves. Ridiculous. Giving that a lot of stats is great, but I want to make it a minion that I can actually play in reasonable time.
Eat the rape shot, Pogo.
Haven't overloaded you. Harvest is an incredible play here. Oh, what a curve! What a curve! Okay. We want the extra coins from Tomb Pillager more than anything else right now.
Thank you.
Eat the rape shot, Pogo.
Unfortunately, neither of them have death rattles.
Eat the rape shot.
Yeah, I'm happy to eat damage for a while. Not a problem. Yes! Ooh. Delightful. Of course, Wind Fury, so I can attack the face again. What is the enemy more likely to be able to deal with? They're a Shaman, they Overload. They're a Shaman, they're Overload. They are a Shaman, right? They don't just have the Overload mechanic and they're a different class. They're better at dealing damage. They have Hex to not deal damage, though.
You try checking under your deck for a spare
They're better at
key.
dealing damage.
Buy one!
Get one free! Hero Bell. Rat Pack's overboard. It's more than we need. It's also cost inefficient. Oh, we can just take the Snow Flipper here. Good 2-mana minion.
I have no time for games.
That's awful. That will control my entire board. The only thing that I have that I can do in response to this is not let Sylvanas die. Unfortunately, Sylvanas running into my zombies kills her. So ideally, I get Zombies stealth. And then I don't play any other minion that can kill Sylvanas and keep going face without it. I'm taking that and not attacking again. I can't risk it. So it's Pogo Pogo.
Buy one!
Don't have any Murlocs. Corpse Widow. Snow Flipper. Literally, I just want the Corpse Widow because it's more effective for flooding out the rest of my hand if I have to lose it after the Sylvanas. Oh!
Those crystals are now off limits.
Well, at least he killed all of my minions.
Target acquired.
Okay, this was summoned after Sylvanas, so Sylvanas' deathrattle will trigger before Piloted's, but the new Sylvanas' will trigger after Piloted's.
With the whole magical locksmith thing. In my sights.
So that means I cleared this attack across. Where's that minion? Expected. I was keeping that minion so it could take out the zombies if the enemy actually took that one. Unfortunately, like a stiff breeze will kill Sylvanas at this point. So I think I flood the mod with bad minions.
You've got to think, you
But if the enemy takes the zombies that I summon, we're in an awful position then. That's absolutely tragic. I have to have bad minions on the board that I don't care about being resummoned. It's the only thing that we can do right now while that Sylvanas is out. I can't believe the enemy had that. Halasi? The minions from Halasi, as in the Lynxes, are really good for us here. And then we'll just take the ability to play Halasi earlier. Do I want to overload for the next turn? Yeah, I'm pretty likely to just play Sneed's Old Shredder hard from the hand, so...
Think of it like this. I'm just
keeping
them safe.
Yeah. Unfortunately, now we are overloaded, so we can't play an Uberrock, but yeah, whatever. Cool. There were much worse minions for you to take.
Hey, this is one lock I just can't crack.
Here's open. Sneeds to trade. Snow Fury Giant goes down to Sneeds hopefully next turn. What? It's such a good deck. Thankfully we have Ziliax so I can start healing back up, but... Double Ziliax. Wild. Ziliax the first one. Here. Ziliax second target. Do you not have deck limitations? That's double the same legendary. I'd be impressed if I weren't so mad. Lynx resummons itself, so I get to use this one Lynx to clear that, and then that. Okay, this one. Clear this twice. This is why I kept the Lynxes, right? These are extremely useful for this. I don't want the 1-mana minion trying to clear mine there. And pull.
I'll unlock those crystals for you for just 7 easy payments at 99 gold.
Sweet. I was right in that the board state being limited is actually pretty good for us. It's pretty limiting for us in bad circumstances, but obviously that limitation is overwhelmed by the fact that it's the only reason we're still kind of doing okay. Nice. I think we just play a Nubarak pass. Yeah, of course you got a bunch of Lich King cards. Why would you not? Ooh, yeah, unlocked all those. And again, that's your third. That's rude. That returns to my hand. And I get a 1/1 copy on the field. Yup. So those 1/1s are just going to summon Nerubians for me as well, which is pretty wild. Enemy does have Crackle. Great. It's important that I keep track of... I wouldn't have gone for that one.
Is worth throwing away the key for.
Really? Enemy is locked out of 7 mana crystals next turn and they only have 1 card in hand. Do I go face? I suspect I do. Got 12 damage on board. They would have to hit 6 with a Crackle that they top deck or have in hand. They would have played the second Crackle after the first.
Sometimes you just have to think about a problem and then smack it with something.
That's what I'm trying to do, Locksmith, if you can just give me a moment here. There has to be a middle ground. The middle ground is kill the Eternal Elemental.
Thank you, Dora.
I'm trying again. Zombies. Shuriken kills you.
That mana anyway.
Myself a 4/4 on board. And get a Zombie Beast. Timberwolf to try and push for damage. Okay, cool. Your turn. Nice. As soon as they stopped attacking face there, I was certain I was safe.
I must have the key here somewhere.
That's a goodbye. Could have played a pirate there. That's fine.
Togwaggle's dice are loaded with bad mojo.
You're not wrong. We have a lot of low-cost minions in the deck, and we're trying to capitalize on those, so Pogo Hopper and things like that, having their cost randomized is not great. But the secondary reason that I'm not going to want to take Togwaggle's dice here is... we don't have that many high-cost minions, but also I played a little off-camera for my own time. In non-heroic, so that it wouldn't make too much of a difference to the progression here. I took Togwaggle's dice and drafted big minions, and I stomped everyone until the final boss. And then in that final boss fight, every single turn, all of the cards in my hand were unplayable. I don't want to let that happen to me again. The most reliable thing here is just Potion of Vitality. Gives me some more time to get my stuff down on the board. We have been having some HP problems. I suspect it's actually not a bad choice. Elven Minstrel draws 2 cards, which is really appealing. That's the only reason I'm taking it. Elven Minstrel is in there.
Rafam is not looking. Let's take a breather.
Yeah, we'll give it a go. Trying to just casually discard that. Pogo gangs all here, please. There's a Pogo.
All are welcome here. Just don't cause any trouble.
There's a gangs all here. And a right-hand man. Oh, but I don't need a Pogo in the opening hand. And I'm probably going to get a Pogo in the opening hand, let's be real. Iron Sensei, at the end of your turn, give it a friendly mech +2/+2. That's actually quite good. If I am going to take a chance, I have to do that before I Pogo. Baron Rivendare, your minions trigger their death rolls twice is hilarious. I think we actually take that, gangs all here, and don't dismiss anything.
Oh, look. You made a friend.
I know. First time for everything. Done.
Come back again soon now.
I don't need any more friends. I've already got the best friend I need right here. Right here.
If you defeat him, it will go up in value.
Look at him. He's a little Yeti holding the dog. Ooh, Masterpiece. Spend all your mana on somebody random minion that costs that much. That's awful. Because you're not playing a minion, so you don't get the benefit of the whole anomaly thing we got going on.
Eudora versus Wrestle!
Step into my gallery. I'll paint your demise.
I'm just gonna Pogo Hop. That's all I'm going to be doing. It's fine hero power.
It has been years.
Good thing that 1 mana, otherwise this would...
Unique subject of paint. It's all in the details.
would be garbage. It's very important that I kill that Mana Wraith. And the secondary copy of it as well. Thankfully, I have the hero power that allows me to do so. Otherwise, that would be torturous.
A delicate
I suspect next... That's a really good minion. I'm just gonna Pogo Hop and kill it. It has to die. I can't because the enemy summons minions, and that one's affected by summoned minions. So here I've got Pogo Hopper into Evil Miscreant, which is pretty good.
These canvases are.
Those lackeys take up an awful amount of space on the board, though. Oh, look, it's still a Pogo Hopper. It's almost like our deck is almost exclusively Pogo Hoppers. I'm very, very glad that I pivoted towards that. Would have been easy to not to.
I have no time for games.
Can you not, though? Alright, let's give enemy some garbage minions, right? It's really, really bad if they take that Pogo Hopper. And I don't want to take a 1 in 4 that they take the Pogo Hopper. So I'm going to go Ethereal Lackey here. Gang Up is really good for hitting the Pogo. And in fact, we will do that this time. So I'm going to be transforming my own Pogo just to make a 2-mana minion. But then how do I kill Sylvanas? I can't. I have to take a 1 in 4.
Evil is done!
Or a 1 in 3 first. Trade the Pogo Hopper across. Because then it only summons a 1/1 copy of itself, right? And that's not even good. This gives me the ability to then turn around and kill the other half of Sylvanas.
I have no time for games.
Fine. Pass. Your turn. That was awful. That was pretty bad. Ooh. Hello, right back at you. I'm trying to get to my...
I think I've outdone myself.
Is that? I mean, did you naturally generate that? You can't have. Yeah, you did it from Masterpiece. So the enemy has played 1 giant so far, as well as a Twilight Drake.
What do I do here?
So they're a hand-sized deck. They're not necessarily a giant-related deck. I suspect that Naga Sea Witch is actually way worse for them than it is good. Now, unfortunately, I've overfilled my own board here. So this is all, like, as soon as my board gets cleared, then I can go for the Pogo Hoppers. And that'll just shut the enemy out of the game entirely. Twilight Summoner is incredible here.
This document looks legally binding.
I'll kill the mountain giant just in case the enemy has like a transformation effect or the ability to pull it back in hand.
Magic shall not save you.
It's fine. I'm very glad that that ran out of your hand before we played our Pogos. Infested Wolf would absolutely overwhelm the enemy's board with minions if I can swing it. I think I want to try. So ideally the goal here is that we end up with the Infested Wolf being like all of my opponent minions are just 1/1s and they can't really do anything about my board state. Or we can just do it like this. That'll do too. Ooh, scary Avenging Wrath. So this doesn't gain stealth on Battlecry, which means that... Exactly, the new copy is stealthed. Basically, the enemy currently has Robes of Gaudiness, if you want to think about it like that, right? They can only play 2 cards a turn. But basically, any 2 cards in hand. I mean, race me. You won't. Oh, you are a giant deck, apparently. Well, good thing we have more Pogos in the deck somewhere. Let's go for the generation of spell first. Renounced Darkness. Replace your hero power and warlock cards with another classes. Huge downgrade for us. Living Roots. Chillblade is actually pretty good. It's pretty chill. Right, of course, the resummon. I mean, I don't really mind. Summoned it without a downside. Well done. Yeah, I don't really not mind because I've got enough HP that the enemy can hit my face as many times as they like here. I can kind of just turn around and focus on this. Mostly, that is. Trade across, and then I resummon a rush. Trade across. Village of hero power. And remove the buff minion. Fine, I'll actually exhibit ball control.
Magic shall not save you.
Oh, whoa! You can... I know you can do that. Don't worry, I'm well aware. I just didn't know that the enemy would. I would have thought they would have been a bit dumb about that kind of thing. AI usually doesn't remember those kinds of niche interactions. Right, Apple Bomb is incredible.
Put your faith in the light.
Like the enemy deck is perfectly built to counter us here. It's not unlikely right now that we end up losing. Enemy managed to kill all of our Pogos with reckless ease. Has a great board state and a weapon that can attack for 15.
Still getting its sea legs.
It's unfortunately most important that I remove the minions and armor up here. Leaves me with only one impactful minion on board if the enemy has enough.
Fate, another masterpiece.
Thankfully, the enemy hasn't played his spells, so they can't attack with the unpowered Mauler. That's good. We'll remove this one because it doesn't come back. What? I lose. That is tragedy. An absolute tragedy. Every single time. Ugh, that hurt. That hurt. 7 Pogo Hoppers. I really thought I was going to have a good time there. Well, at least I unlocked Yoink, so we did something this episode. For the moment, though... Ooh, reductive. For the moment, though, my name is Rhapsody, the name of the game. It's been Hearthstone. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.